Rest time. Straws are coming on. All right. Shed of dreams. Slowly disappearing. You can see how much work I did. You got the timber frame. Inside that you had Celotex. And then on top of that you had OSB 8x4 sheets. Right round. It would have blown over because without this, the whole thing is just... So if you're thinking about buying a metal shed, don't. Yeah, don't. Horse's mouth and all that, but just don't. Right, I'm going to crack on after a cup of tea. I thought that was your ass then. You went, wah, someone's true.
No, that wasn't me.
No, not quite then, no, for the first time this afternoon. So, yeah. It's not too bad. Like I say, I've got to dig that row up just to carry that along somehow or other. Like that. It's on a slope, you see, so that's the awkward part, but we'll get there. Right. Spider City. There we go. It is down and out. Now it's bedtime, I think. Day 2 over. Day 3 actually. Oh, look at those strawberries. Well, end of day 3. And that's basically what's left of the shed and this pile of shit here. Look how fucking rusty it is. Unbelievable. Never buy a metal shed. Ever. Guys. There we are. That's the original shed, look, the dark bit. That's what I dug out and concreted for the last shed. And now we're going to be... Yeah. I'm going to sit down now. With a nice freezer pop. Oh, I don't know. What a fucking mess. Hello once again. I am stood where the old Shed of Dreams used to be. So, basically ripped everything out. There's a lot of it, and I'm going to use them panels on the back of the new old shed to stop the weather just ripping apart that wood, because the weather comes in from this way generally to us here. 99% of the time it's coming from this direction, which is southwest, so heading sort of northeasterly sort of thing across the country. So this side of the shed, which will be covered in tin, is protected by that tin. Right, here's the state of play. We've got to go, because we're going from a 10 by 8 to a 10 by 8 to a 12 by 10. I've got to go, that was the back wall. Now I've got to go 6 inches that way. Luckily I've concreted, when I did the extension concrete, I concrete an extra 6 inches, believe it or not. So that's good. Got to go right back to there, and we've got to go right onto this edge here in order to get the 10 foot that way. And the 12 foot this way ends up literally here in line with this fence post. So that will be the corner of that comes in literally to this post here, and that'll be the start of the building. So as soon as you come in, that's it. So what I've got to do now, because that's level level, and you can see we've got a gradient. You can see it better from the other side, actually. Oh, that bloody unit wasn't in the way. So that's sloping down, and the whole garden's just a big slope. It was a bit of a pain to get that decking in the ground. Lots of fieldy lights being used there to get the right levels. So anyway, what I've done, I've taken a brick or half a brick, and I've measured from there, and I've drawn a line using my straight edge light fitting. You can get these from any good wholesalers. So I've done my little blue chalk line there. Now I'm going to angle grind with a diamond blade on that out, so I can literally get a brick in the ground to whatever height I want. Now here, just got to take a little bit out, and then that will be level, literally. The ground is level about here, so don't really I need to sink that in a brick's depth, so we're sloping in, cutting into the ground. Look. And then up this end it's almost 2 bricks deep, so it's quite a lot of difference, because that is the height, that is the level of that leading edge. But again, we've got to go that way. See, with the 2 half moon cast iron plates are out of the chimney, that line there is where the new shed will be at. So we're gaining like 1.5 foot basically that way, and 2 foot this way, sort of thing. So yeah, all the stuff's got to come up, and I've got to dig that out down to or lower than that level, and then we're going to cement in the slabs at that level, sort of there. We're not going to cut the slab, so we'll actually be going a bit further than that line, if you can imagine that 450 that way from that edge. So that'll be that. And then we had to put the base down, which is already made up. There's 2 parts to the base, 2 what are they, 6x10s. So you've got 10 for the width and the 6, and then the other 6 12 foot for the depth. It is a little bit rotten on the outsides. I have done a little bit of work to them, but what I want to do is take out the rot, replace it with good, because it's tongue and groove flooring, and then I'm going to overlay that with 19mm tongue and groove. I think it's larch, so that I'll really strengthen it up. And underneath, between the trusses, between the joists, I want to put 4x2 on its side, which is like 50mm, because the trusses up, the joists are 50mm deep. I want to put infill that with 4x2 all the way along, and put some what do you call it, herringbones in, sort of thing, ladder effect, all the way up in that frame. And on the underside of that frame, I've got a load of massive wedges. I've got a box of 100. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2, the tape obviously tapered like wedges. You can put 2 together, and then you got little click. You can click them up to make them fatter or taller, and click them down to make it shorter. So we'll be perfectly level on this platform, whilst keeping the wood out of the, in the dry, and allowing air to pass underneath, because the old base that I put down was just, it was wood on little spacers with spray foam, expanding foam underneath, which kind of did the job, but the water sort of pooled inside the shed and rotted all the floor out and all the rest of it. So lessons learned there. Okay. I need to do some cutting, so we can. How's your straws?
Lovely.
All right, are they? Yeah, right, let's crack on. Strawberry eater. Well, there we go. We've got the bottom layer of tin salvaged from the old shed. You can see where the old lamp used to be at the old outside LED light. So we've gone across there, left to right, screwing them in, pretty much using a lot of the old screws out of the old roof. So we're recycling pretty much quite a lot of it. So now I'm going to do the centerpiece, which is the tallest piece. So I'm going to hold that up against there, perhaps put a screw or two in the bottom there, just to overlap that 2 inches. So water runs off of it and down. And you have to start from the left and work right, because otherwise the overlap is the other way and you don't want the rain driving in from that way. Okay, right, so we do the big one in the middle, and then yeah, I'm sort of just going to tack it up there basically, then get some more sheets. I think we're just about going to have enough sheets, because we've got holes all over the place and they're dented. There's silicone on there that you really can't get off. I've got some silicone off. Guys, if you've got some silicone on something you want off, measuring equivalents, okay, Timu, it's about £1.50 that, and that is a sharp blade on there, and it is flipping awesome just for slicing off the silicone. Top tip of the day. So yeah, Kaz is doing a great job getting rid of all the greenery that was on there. So teamwork makes the dream work for the new Shed of Dreams. It's coming together. Alright, let's crack on. Well, there we are, that side's cladded with that tin, and it's a really good likeness in colour, isn't it, to that anthracite. So yeah, it's all done. That is going to protect that wood for many years to come now, hopefully. So now that's going to stay there. We are going to take this panel and we're going to lean it against that one, which brings us onto the floor, because we've got to reinforce between these points all the way along, all 10 foot, 10 foot, and the other one 10 foot, 10 foot. So it's all going to be reinforced. I think there's a little bit of rot, actually, a little tiny bit of rot. I need to just cut that out, put new stuff in, and then once all that's down, all that's been reinforced, we can then put the packing pieces that are just in height on the bottom, and then we can go and lay it down over there and see, you can get it sort of straightened up. What I might do to get it exactly right is to mark points on the ground where the frame's going to contact, sort of like, you know, one on each corner, and perhaps 2 along the front, 2 along the back, 2 along the sides, and then various points on the ground here corresponding with the trusses. And then what we do is we go along with a piece of light fitting and a marker pen, and I'll get my spirit level up on a tripod, and wherever the spirit level is, wherever the light hits this, yeah, then we mark it, and then we can draw a basic pencil measurement scale on there, whether in inches or centimeters, just a basic one. And then when we move over to one of the marked points, say this back corner, if this is up or down, if it's in line with the laser level, then we don't put any packing underneath. Well, we just put one packing underneath it to raise it off the ground, if you see what I mean. And then obviously this second one along here, if it's up or down, we adjust the height using the wedge effect, and that's how you do it. So as long as you measure your spacings that correspond with the spacings on the base, it will be exact when you go to put the piece down on the ground, won't it? So yeah, how do I know about this stuff? Well, I used to be a ground worker many years ago. Paperboy, milkman, parts department lad, engineer, mechanic, ground worker, electrician. Sort of that's my background, but there we are. It is what it is. That's the only real way of doing it on the cheap, getting things on a level, is you mark across in the middle of your area there, and that is your main point for taking your height. You never move the tripod. It's got to be on a level ground, obviously. You never move that state. You mark where the 3 points are on the floor, so when you go to measure again later on, you can put them back on the exact spaces, and you've got your crosshair to get your reference again on your light fitting. Right, I think you've earned a brew, love, don't you? Something to eat, perhaps. You don't need anything to eat because you're fat porker. Hello.
Hello.
Right, we've been very busy. Don't I feel over my my marker? There's the old laser, field light, theodolite. Let's just turn that off because we've finished now with that, and a lot of mathematical things. We've managed to plot out where the spacers will be underneath the framework all the way along. Looks better from a distance, and we've got all of these measurements written down on the underside of the woodwork, as you can see. Look, so now I need to take my spacers. Should we have a look at the spacers? You haven't had a look at them yet, have you? They're a bit man-sized, these ones, so I don't know why I got them. But here we are, and that's the spacers, and you can see that they're sort of serrated, if you like, so you can start off sort of, I don't know, as low as you like, sort of thing, down here, say 15 mil, something like that, and it goes up to probably about 40 mil, and you basically just drill a hole through there, and that will correspond with another hole on the other side, and you just wang your screw through and keep it, you know, like that. So that is your chosen height. So we've got to just go around now. Here's another one. This is this is the front leading edge of the shed base, so that's going towards the rear of the shed. That's the first half of the floor, that's the second half of the floor, and there's a back edge there. So as you can see, we've just got to measure 27, you've got to cross, and we need to put 27 mils worth of pack in there, so on every foot, and so on and so on. We didn't do every foot here because I feel that we don't really need it. It's on a concrete base, so it just keeps the wood off the floor, off the concrete, because there's going to be literally water flow underneath it as our garden, you know, slopes away. So yeah, just got to get some dome head screws, because if you used countersink screws, just blow a hole in the bottom there, wouldn't it? But I think these are really cool. I found these online after many hours of searching for, you know, carpenters' door frame wedges and that kind of thing, which we have a few of, but we don't have anything that's chunkified like this. So yeah, I've got a box of 100 there. If we did every foot, and most of them have to double or treble up, you'd be looking at, you know, like 175, 200 of these, and we just haven't got it. That's why we did every 600 mil, every 60 centimeters. Outside is every foot, inside is every 60 centimeters. So that's pretty good going. And this soldier, absolutely brilliant. So there we go. And then to reinforce this, because this is only, well, that's only, what's that? I think it's 12 mil. Focus, man, focus. I think it's 12. Why isn't that focusing? It's 12 mil. Winnie, thank you. And that's stuff that we got for free yesterday. Free tongue and groove larch floorboards times 50 at 3.6 meters long. Yes, a few of them are a little bit on the side, but to get that free from this very nice couple, where were they, look? Chandler's Ford, that's it. They are going to go the opposite way on the floor, because if you think about it, this 12mm tongue groove, Tom, you got a, you know, £250 mobility scooter trundling in on that. There's a possibility in certain places that aren't brilliant that you could have gone through. It's very bouncy. When we first went to pick the shed up, it was very bouncy indeed. We were like on a trampoline. So for that wood just to turn up like that, it's as if it was, you know, a spiritual thing going on there, because it just worked out perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And we, for a worktop in the workshop, we thought about it. We thought about getting a, you know, 3.6 meter, you know, laminate worktop, something like that, or all different kinds of ideas were thrown up in the air. But when it comes to this, we know we're breadline. So I phoned up our local scaffold guy, Dan, Chapel Scaffolding in Greatley. Phoned him up and I said, hey, it's AD, you let me come over and purchase a few boards off you, you know, a year or so ago to make whatever. I think we did some shelves up in the games room. He said, oh yeah. He said, yeah, pop over. He said, what are you after? I said 3.6 or 3.8 meter lengths, old boards that you can't use any longer, that are pretty much, you know, serve their purpose. So I thought, yeah, if I get 3 deep of those, I think they're 230. So 2, 4, 6, 690, 700 deep. That's so much better than just 600 deep, which is a standard work surface. So I went over as Carol and I pulled into the yard. They had the it was a single axle scaffold flatbed with all the rigging on the back. And you remember the rubber bumpers that go over the twin rear axle, twin wheel rear axle? Well, it got snagged up and it ripped itself off. And I literally hobbled out the car, went over to give Dan and the lads a hand, and we got it back on. A combined effort. We managed to get this thing reattached to the wagon so they could go off to work. And Dan said, just take what you want, mate. So yeah, I was going to go over there for 4 and I ended up grabbing 7. And so that's a 7 next to that. So 3 of these will be the worktop, and the rest will be converted into shelves upstairs for Caroline and that. So top tip, anything like skirting boards, pallets, and not skirting boards, scaffold boards. I've got a skirting board ladder if anyone needs to borrow it. Yeah, scaffold boards, you know, or pallets, things like that. Please don't burn them, because they have they're impregnated with chemicals. Always wear a mask when you're sawing through them, because that stuff is not very good for the human being. So please, yeah, take precautions when you're using, if you're sanding down your scaffold boards, anything like that. Yeah, just take care, because it ain't good. Okay, well, that's going to wrap that up for a bit. Tomorrow, I think, if our bodies allow us, because we said after yesterday, we said, right, today, day of rest, because we both literally couldn't get out of bed this morning. But we managed to. And you know what it's like, time you're taking your medications and you've had a coffee and you look out the window and it's nice and sunny and you think, do you know what, I just can't sit around, which my bodies are crying out for, to have a rest. And so we've just been measuring and spraying today, nothing too drastic. Obviously we put that cladding on there, and then Caroline's going to take the rest of the old shed tin work down to the local tip and put it in the steel bin in a bit. So that's sorry, tomorrow. So that's good. Recycling, we like to recycle. It's the best thing, isn't it? So there. So tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have these spacers put on the undersides of the floor. I've already put a couple of strengthening beams in there because one side of it, the side that was hidden in loads of bags and things, it was very damp and rotten, and that's this edge here. It is pretty. I mean, it's there, but you can see that it's not brilliant. And to save ripping it out and damaging the tongue and groove shiplap on there, I've just gone in with some pressure treated and Cuprinol treated. What would that be? 40 by 30s. And I've just gone in, screw. So instead of take it off and damaging anything, I've just put that on the back there, and that will now be this leg. This piece here isn't filled in because it's there. You see, it will interlock. The fingers will interlock. When they're put together, that will slide in there and get screwed in from the outside. As you can see, that's a full length there. So literally, I am using parts from the steel shed, excuse me, and I'm using parts from the original wooden shed to just to get this third donated shed, because it was a freebie from a garden centre. They were going to throw it away. I said, well, we'll take it off your hands, and then here we are. So after weeks and weeks and weeks and months of prep, yeah, we're sort of almost just going over the crest, over the peak of the mountain, and hopefully we'll be skating down the other side sometime soon, hopefully. But there we are. It's been stupidly difficult for us, you know, under the circumstances, but you can sit there and let it beat you down, or you can fight it, and we choose to fight it. So there, autoimmune disease, get stuffed. Right, fibromyalgia, that's what Caroline's got. Not very good. I think she's got more than that, but she says no, I haven't. Right, so there we are, and that's the end of this day. So I don't know if this is a video, then tatty bye, and we'll see you next episode where we put the floor down and all the rest of it, or you'll see the next bit of it in a second. Tatty bye. Right, there's the first half of the flooring. Everything's packed out show tonight. Got them beams under there just to take the weight. Got everything measured and packed out, ready to go down. Can we do this?
I hope so.
Let's do it. Right. Alright, Woos. What are you thinking? Yeah, that's bitumen. Well, the base is down. Need to tweak it. A bit of fine tweaking here and there. Need some packers to go under the front here, because obviously the slope, the land slopes downwards, so I've had to extend wood there and reduce it up to about there, and then it's, yeah, negative. So, but that is the quality control. Do you approve? Approve of it? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna fine tweak it tomorrow. Absolutely. Deed on feet. Got the packers. It's so easy with those little packers, you know, they're brilliant pieces of kit. And going around you can any thickness you want. Look, let's chop it off. Brilliant bits of kit. And going around with the laser level field lights, doing all those little independent dots, and then it's a long way around. It's very long-winded, but when you've got uneven ground, it's all you can do. It's all you can do. Otherwise, your shed's going to be giving it like life on the ocean waves. Parlay. Yeah, so there we are. Or 12 foot by 10 foot of it. Right guys, I'll catch you later. Oh, are you mad? Quite possibly. Well, that is now the what's left of the stack of 19mm tongue and groove floorboards. Because, behold, we have gone right across. The other boards went this way. That was all patched, wedged. Ah! Yeah! You see all the wedges under there, look. All different spaced. Going by the data that we acquired from the field light. That's beautiful. It's absolutely fantastic. So no part of the shed, the wooden part of the construction, is touching any floor, any ground, so it won't or shouldn't rot any further than it already has. I've got a wounded soldier over here. Might have to cut a foot off.
Yeah.
Have a look.
I can't see it that well.
Let's have a look.
It's only there. Sorry about my feet.
That is proper. Shall I hit it with a hammer? See if it hurts?
No, it already hurts enough.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's what happens.
Quality control is on the ball, look.
Yeah.
Properly on the ball. So now we just got to get some help to do the heavy stuff, which is back wall, side wall, front wall, and then I have to put these 3 made trusses, middle, 1/4, 2/4. So we actually got 5 ridge points to support that extremely heavy roof. We've got to do modifications to it as well. Right, I think we need to stop for a brew or a year's sleep.
Yeah.
That would be good.
As it's so muggy.
It is so muggy, but somebody upstairs is looking over us because it's nicely overcast.
Yeah.
And that would have been silly hot, and I can't do silly hot.
It's already silly hot.
I'm sweating like a twat already with the factor 50 on. Right. That's quite an achievement, that, isn't it?
Still got to cut along the edge there.
We've got to cut along the edge, yeah. I had to cut the first one because we wouldn't have been able to cut it before I fixed it. I brought it away, cut it, and then put it in and fixed it. Obviously now the circular saw, we can ping a line right through and just go zip a saw to do that. Oh, this ground floor is so nice, it's just solid. And then we've got new fresh back edge for the back panel to sit on, so the batten will sit here and the tongue and groove will just sit in there. I think it's about 2 inches deep, just sits on the back there. And like I say, that end piece is all covered in tin, isn't it? Then we need to think about, once these 4 walls are up and we've got the structure in for that, got to think about getting the power cable in underneath, up and in, and put a little board somewhere, probably on this wall, because if you put it on that wall, if I've got units going in here, that cable coming through that side will hinder putting a unit straight up against the wall. But if you put it through this way, you can just cut a hole in the back of the unit easily enough. Bosh. But wow. So to reiterate, free shed, just needed effort, free floorboards with spare enough to clad one of the back, one of the, either that wall or that wall. Just, it was free, just needed effort. What else was free? The scaffold boards, because I helped put a mudguard back on for the lads at the scaffolding place. 7 scaffold boards, that is, well, 3 of them are going to be the 700 worktop. Now I don't know yet whether I'm going to put the worktop this side for a change or this side. I don't know, probably this side because of the short power cable, but once I've got a board in there that can go anywhere. So free scaffolding, free boards, free floor,
What were the units?
free kitchen units out the back, out the front of the house that are stacked up under the porch. Well, I went to get from that guy who I have a new kitchen fitted. So free kitchen, free cladding because it was on the back of the old shed that was just taken down. Free OSB because that was all part of this installation, and these Celotex, of which there's a load there and a load there that toolbox is sat on that bench up there.
Yeah.
All it's cost us so far is
Pain.
life hours,
Pain.
because they're now gone. We can't get them back. Pain,
Blood, sweat and tears.
blood, sweat and tears, fuel,
Yeah.
cups of coffee,
Yeah.
lots of them. 2 bags of concrete.
We had to pay for.
2 bags of concrete we've had to pay for. Even the old screw fixings are old reclaimed stuff that I've taken out the old shed.
Oh, and paint.
Oh, and the paint for the outside of the shed. Yeah, the anthracite grey or whatever it's called. So yeah, I had to do some shuttering. Wow. Beautiful shuttering under there, look. Just to get that right. Oh. Right, and Team Meads have done that.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's a win. Right.
No, that's a win.
That's, oh yeah, that's a win. That's a win. All right, win. See you in a bit. Well, a massive thank you to Kevin and Brian. They turned up to give us a hand to basically put the roof on for us, because without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to do that. Okay, here it is. We're just finishing. It's 9:45 at night. Still lots to do. Roof trusses to fit properly. One there, that one there is the centre one. But we need to do a bit of rearranging first before these actually go up properly. And then we can affix them to the joists and some sort of bobbins there. Yeah, so that's the 2 doors that we made. Got to let a bit of it dry out, because where it's been sat on the decking for months, well, weeks, it's all got a little bit damp, but now it's up and airy and open. We're not due any rain, thank goodness. So that's that. Right, from a One Tired Easy signing off. We'll see you again next episode. Thank you for watching. Good morning, young sir, and how are you this fine day? Hello guys, quick update on the Shadow Dreams MK3. Right, it's built. It's built and it's had 2 days of fettling, because once it's put up it needs fettling, because it was never built straight in the first place. Therefore I'm trying to adjust a well-seasoned, warped, bent shed. But we seem to be getting there. Now the roof isn't so rotten because we have put a new beam of wood straight down it. This roof was like that. Okay, so therefore at the top there it would be in like a U shape, because the other half of the wood was out here, and the same the other side. So when you looked up in the from the underside there, you had the gap got bigger towards the middle, and then it tapered back off to nothing. So I fixed that by gluing this front face and the top, holding that in with my G clamps. There they are, you don't need to see them really. Held them in with G clamps, and then I've wound in big motherfunking screws. And when that was in, I took the G clamps off and then proceeded to screw down each of these slightly weathered tongue groove boards to square that all off and strengthen it right up, and it is strong now. Next thing I did, well, I've yet to do the back, that's fine. I've put another strengthening bar under here, same sort of effect. So as you can see, I've screwed through the front with glue on 2 edges, screwed down through the top like that, both those sides, and I've got me trusses in place. Don't they look magnificent? And then we've got a tiny gap there in the middle, so I'm happy with that. I've started insulating with what I've got. I've started a little bit of wiring. I've brought the mains cable in down over there, that armour. SWA, Steel Wired Armour. This is a 4mm cable from the house on a separate feed. Got to be on at least it's got to be on 16 amp. You can't put it on a 32 because it's just a radial, isn't it, in effect. So from that I'm going to go up to 2 spurs. One spur will isolate the whole lot, or an isolator switch even, and the other spur next to it, fused down to a 5 amp fuse, will be for the lights coming off of there. So that's what you do with that. Other sheds I've wired for people in the past, I've put a board in obviously, but I can't afford a board. So there, I'm going the DIY Joe route with that. So I'm happy with that anyway. Unfortunately, the shed turned out that much longer and that much wider than I anticipated, because of the thickness of the shiplap. Once this is sat on the base, okay, you've then got the shiplap thickness to think of both ways on that edge, and the back edge more importantly, because there's a steel H with the old wiring, the old fence on it, if you know what I mean, the old steel H shape. My fingers focus. Look at that, hard working hands. And my rash has completely gone. Those of you that follow me regularly will have seen my hands probably a year and a half ago. From the last sort of 5 years up to about a year ago, my hands were absolutely pummeled with what the docs said was, begins with D. Can't think. Brain fog. No, I can't think what it was. A skin condition beginning with D. Anyway, you're probably shouting at the screen. Yes, you're right. Diphtheria. No, it's not diphtheria. Domestos. No, it's not domestos. We could be here all day, couldn't we? Anyway, since my medication's been added to and subtracted from, and the stress now has gone because of now my situation is I'm understanding it, and I'm learning to embrace it. So therefore, stress of the not knowing is just gone out the window. So how do we get to my shed to my hands? I don't know. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, no, I've already said domestos. Anywho, so let's have a quick, before we go in, let's have a look at the lighting situation. Can you see anything down there? Outside lights? No? Should we have a closer look? Oh, look. A little tiny 10-watt LED, which should effectively illuminate all the crap I'm going to stack there. Isn't that right, sir? He's not happy. He's not happy with my decisions. I've got to repair that corner. Now, I put the best panel I put at the back because I'd have to touch it, or I can't touch it. And the worst panel I put at the front. And the only part that is bad, that needs my attention, is well, this. I put some 2-pack filler in it just to stop it crumbling away. But basically, I need to remove. Well, there's actually that diagonal support in there. If you see those nails, don't know if you can see the nail line. I can basically just chop that and put 2 new pieces of wood in there, can't I? Of which I have plenty. So that repairs that corner. And at the front here, we have 2 more of these tiny little 10-watt LEDs, IP66. So they're all right for external work. Tiny little things, and they've got little tiny wirings coming through. I've yet to put the sensor outside to pick up. And now what I'm going to have in here is also a sensor based switch and a 4-gang switch just here. Now the reasons for that is we've got barn doors here, great big 750 or 800 barn doors coming open. This one's going to be pretty much in situ unless I need to get big wagons in from this direction, because we've had to go up slightly more than I had anticipated, because the highest point that I should have gone from with the field light is that bloody corner over there, and I've dug that back down to a half an inch. But as the ground falls that way, it also falls this way, which I really sort of didn't anticipate really, but I should have found it out with the field light to start with, and then stopped, thought about it. Right, go from the highest point, because that is the lowest point you can put your shed on. The highest point, isn't it? If you think about it, if you want a level shed, you have to go from the highest point and then pack out to get it level. You can't go from the lowest point and then you're in concrete. So you have to go from the highest point. My brain had slipped from its skull, like it does on many occasions, and dementia. No, it's not dementia. Therefore, you have to go from the highest point, basically. So I boobed there, hence being raised up 2 inches, because I took the centre point, do you remember, from the centre of the concrete and went all around with the spaces. I wasn't until I got to that corner there where I was 0, but I thought, hey, that's fine, 0's fine, that's good. But the shed would then be sat on the concrete, wood on the concrete. Now, it doesn't matter how many layers of membrane or damp proof you put down, water will still get into that wood. So I had to raise it, hence these packers. But it's solid and it works for me, and I'll be able to fabricate some sort of ramp system on a slope there, kind of thing. Be able to get the old beasties in and park over here somewhere, where there will be power points, double there and single there. And on this side, obviously a 4-gang switch for the lights, double, bubble, boil it and trouble, and the 2 spares. for that. That's all the power I'm going to need in here. I will leave a loop over there behind the doors just in case I want to have some sort of worktop at that end in future. Lighting. Oh yes, the two-way switches. We've got the 4-gang for 1 light, 2 light, outside lights, pelmet lights. Okay, that's what the 4 switches are going to be doing. The one that switches on the outside lights here then goes up to the sensor, and then the sensor decides whether it's light or dark enough for lighting to be required, and then turns it on or off. So then when you come in with your armfuls of shopping, it comes on automatically when it's dark. But if I have that switch off in there, it's off for maintenance. So kill 2 birds with 1 stone there. Right, and these 2 lights will come on with a sensor that will be mounted up here, which will be looking back. So when the doors open, focus my beauty. When the doors open, it will immediately put these 2 LED squares on before I even touch any switch or even look for any switch. If I got my hands full, that's what it's all about, isn't it? And if you can imagine, I'm here and I'm wanting to open this left-hand door. I've got to do that, swing it back round, latch it up before I can actually get in, trip over all this nonsense and feel around for a light switch. So that sensor will be doing exactly the same for the interior lights as this sensor will be doing for the exterior lights. Does that make any sense? I hope you're following at the back. Sit down, Smithers, and stop mucking around flicking bits of wet paper at teacher's head. Right, so that's the lighting sorted out. What are these lights, I hear you cry? Well, let me show you. Some of you might have seen these in offices, replacing the old 4-tube, 18-watt, 50, 70-watt 2-foot tubes. These are LEDs. Panels, there you go. There's the part number if you want to freeze that. So these are, what's the, they're either 28 or 30 watts. Now, my old fluorescent tube in here was a 6-footer in the old shed, which is 70 watts. Okay, so these 2 LEDs, where's the other one? There's the other one there. These are, when they're both on, less than that one fluorescent tube, these new LEDs, okay? So A, they're more fuel efficient, and B, they're going to last forever without any starters to change or ballasts or anything like that. And the most important thing is they are so much brighter, and you will see that once they're installed and working. Okay, how do I fix them up? Good question, I hear you cry. Basically, where's the power pack for these? There's the power pack for these. Okay, there's even a connector to connect your wiring into. Okay, so you put your live and neutral in that chocolate block there. That sits up on the top of it, but I'm going to screw these via the little screw holes to the trusses. Okay, what's this one? Max 30 watts. So these are less than 30 watts each, these LED panels. And then obviously that female plugs into that male, and that's it. And whatever you switch turns this light on and off. Now these are 600 by 600, or 595 by 595 to be more exact. So when I built these trusses, I specifically made that distance there just over 600. So I had options. So these will either just go like that on there. Now you've got 10 mil each side, if that. I can't really do that with one hand, but that's what that'll be. And obviously the other one will go on this beam. which will give sort of like an even spread across the areas. So, and I can either have one on or two on, which is great, isn't it? Yeah, so feed will go. How am I going to do that? Switching them separately. I'm just going to switch them both on together, bollocks. I'm never going to be using just one light, am I? So that will be fine with the 2-gang grid. That leaves me another way for some more pelmet lights, doesn't it? Right, so that's good. This guy absolutely loves it in here, don't you? You coming in? Bit like a Dutch oven in here, isn't it, mate, apart from the smell. So that's the lighting. Like I say, you've heard me talk you through the socket situation in here. This floor is gorgeous. I was just going to sand it, varnish it, but no, I have that spongy finger clicking in flooring matting to go in here, like I bought from Halfords. I think I showed you it on a previous episode. So that's going to go down last thing, because I don't want to be putting it down and trampling everywhere. Plus I've got to get the kitchen units in, and the kitchen units that I got for free, the other kitchen units I got for free that are out the back of out the front of the house in the porch. That's all got to come through the house at the moment, soon, and then I've got to sort of organise which way is going to go where. I am going to stick with units on this wall, simply because that's what I'm used to, and because that door is the one that's going to open. Mainly, obviously I'm going to need 2 doors to open to get the machines in, but that's the main door. I just want to be able to open that and I'm right there, worktop, as opposed to opening that door and then fanning around trying to get over there, because I'm going to have things stored, aren't I, down there. So that's what we're going to do there. All the way along, we've got three deep scaffold board, which is nearly 700mm deep to fit on there. That fits. I'm going to put that right through regardless. And then I have some wall units which I can probably sit, possibly one that end and one that end. I don't against the whatever I'm going to put on here. Got insulation to go on there yet, guys, and then you've got a finished board on there. To get the finished board on here, I need to bring that. I've got more batten to just screw to that batten so it sticks out. So I've got a face to screw to. On your mat then, lad. Sit down then. Sit. You can hear the other dog barking in the distance. I'm waffling now, aren't I? Accidentally went to a garden centre yesterday, in excess. Some of you might have seen a photograph of me going rah, with some dinosaurs behind me. That's where I was, in Salisbury, in excess. Google it if you want. There are 2 parts to In Excess in Salisbury. There's the main shop, and then when you come out of there, Google In Excess Garden Centre. Boy oh boy, I found a brilliant system for containment of nuts, bolts and washers, basically, and knickknacks. Let me show you. Here is the system. It's called Jedever. I'm going to call it Jedward, solid. So basically, I mean, that's 15 quid for that, and you've got 2 big pull-out sections there with all little dividers in that you can remove, and you've got 4 sections there. So I did the decent thing and got 2 of those because they interlock. You can put them on top, and you can do them on the sides. And if what I'm going to do, see, they'll interlock like that. You have to slide them in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 big ones out of there and take the 4 small ones out of there and put the 2 big ones in there, 4 small ones in there. Then we've got 2 of these, 2 drawers, and then we've got 2 of these, which is slide out trays, that sort of effect. So £70 well spent. Thank you very much. Right, I'm going to have to go now because I'm being beckoned for breakfast, aren't I?
Yes.
So bacon sandwiches all round. Yeah, I've got so much to do. it's too hot today to do anything in here. I've even got the cover up there, the shade, the brolly, but it's just too hot, too hot. So this is just a going back to that brain fog. What was that on my hands that they thought it was? Begins with D.
Dermatitis.
Dermatitis. Yes, thank you. I love you so much. You're great at this kind of shit because I can't remember. Going back to the brain fog, the only thing now really holding us back is well, everything really, but it's not as sharp, and it's the speech. I've been all right at the moment because I'm saying about technical stuff. When I stop talking about technical stuff, I can't hold a conversation with people, can I?
Well, you're struggling now.
Yeah, because I've stopped talking bollocks, haven't I? Really. So there we are. Anyway, so there we are. We're going to leave it there. We're going to say bye-bye, aren't we?
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye, and we'll catch you in the next episode. Take care.